Because We Care cash grant approved for private school students, Matais donates 60,000 face masks to the Ministry of Education. 29 new pharmacists sworn in at White Coat ceremony. In the region, thousands protest in Argentina for better salaries, food aid, and internationally, HEZBOLLAH-BROKERED Iranian fuel arrives in crisis-hit Lebanon. Greetings and welcome to another edition of Channel 2 Headline News Update. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. Yesterday, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali, approved the Because We Care cash grant and school uniform and supplies grant program to the parents of children attending private schools. President Ali said the initiative started off being only applicable for parents of children in public school system. However, several parents from private schools asked for the program to be extended to their children. He said after consultation, the decision was made.
Fellow Guyanese, in keeping with our manifesto promise and commitment, I am pleased to announce today that the Because We Care cash grant program will be extended to parents of children attending private schools. You would recall that earlier this year, when we launched this initiative, it was announced that the initiative was applicable to parents of children attending schools in the public school system only. Since then, we have received a number of inquiries into children attending private schools. The Vice President, Minister of Education, and other cabinet members would have committed to the population that we will examine that request. And in keeping with our manifesto, which was to ensure all children benefit from this program, I am pleased today that this program will be extended to all children attending private school.
The President said, under the Because We Care program, cash grants are given to parents of each child attending schools to provide support in procuring school supplies.
The decision to extend the program to private schools will see an additional $320+ million distributed to parents of some 17,000 children. This is on top of the $3.3 billion already distributed to the parents of the more than 175,000 students attending public schools. Under the Because We Care program, cash grants totaling $19,000 are given to the parents of each child attending school to provide support to parents in procuring school supplies. The program enjoys widespread popularity, but was discontinued by the APNU AFC while they were in office. It has since been reinstated by the PPC upon our return to office, and the amount of the grant increased to a total of $19,000 per student.
The Because We Care cash grants are valued at $15,000 and the school uniform and supplies grants are valued at $4,000, amounting to $19,000 per student. President Ali has issued instructions for works to commence immediately to make the payout to all eligible parents. Police are investigating a fatal accident involving a motorcyclist who allegedly lost control of his motorcycle while speeding along the Essequibo coast. Esther Sobers has that tragic story.
Police are investigating a fatal accident at the Johanna Cecilia Public Road, Essequibo Coast on Wednesday night. Dead is 59-year-old Sugrim Singh, a security guard of Perseverance Estate, Essequibo Coast. Inquiries disclosed at around 8:30 p.m. motorcycle CE5133, driven by the deceased, was proceeding north along the public road at a fast rate of speed. It is alleged while negotiating a right turn, he lost control of his motorcycle and collided with a light pole located on the western parapet. As a result of the collision, he fell, receiving multiple injuries to his body. Singh was picked up in an unconscious state and transported to the Study Public Hospital. He was seen by a doctor and was officially pronounced dead. His body is at a funeral home awaiting a post-mortem investigation. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. On Thursday, and an HEZBOLLAH food market donated 60,000 face masks to the Ministry of Education to distribute to school children across the country. Minister within the Ministry of Local Government and Regional Development, Member of Parliament Anan Fasad, received the donations worth some $500,000 on behalf of the Ministry of Education. Co-owner of the food market, Ms. Bharati Matai, reiterated the importance of safety measures against the deadly disease.
So we're contributing, we're donating all these masks for the safety of the public, because we need to have herd immunity. And it's not going as fast as we would like it to go. So we are doing our part to ensure that we can all be safe in Guyana and as such worldwide. So this is one of the little things that we are doing at the moment.
Minister Fasad extended his gratitude to Matais for the donation. He said the mask would protect thousands of students against COVID-19.
For the number of years that I've known the Matais, they have always been good corporate citizens, assisting, and we know on a yearly basis, with some massive Christmas giveaways. Today is different. Today is different in the sense that they have remembered our children, especially and moreover with the COVID-19 pandemic that is wreaking havoc, not only in Guyana, but throughout the world. I think it's an excellent gesture. And I want to thank him on behalf of Minister Priya Manichan and the children of this country. I know they will benefit from this because, the schools have been reopened, not fully, but those children will be more protected at this point in time.
Schools across Guyana were reopened on September 6th. Don't go away after the break. 2 injured as a result of a driver's failure to stop at a stop sign, and 29 new pharmacists sworn in at a white coat ceremony.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
For decades, milk has remained the same, until now. Introducing the Great Dairy Full Cream Milk from Alabama Trading. Enriched with vitamins A to D and calcium to promote healthy teeth, strong bones, and vitality. Great Dairy Milk is delicious and fortified to encourage healthy cell growth within the body. No wonder it's the #1 brand of milk produced in Ireland. Now available nationwide in 400-gram packages at leading supermarkets and wholesale vendors. Distributed by Alabama Trading.
Welcome to Kissoon's Furniture. Find everything you need for your home and more under one roof in our newly decorated showroom. Our locally crafted furniture has been perfected over the last 60 years. From our hands to your home, we also bring to you our newly introduced lines of imported furniture and sleep center, where you can find a wide range of beds and mattresses. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 60 years.
Survival Shopping Complex brings to you its delivery service, Shop through WhatsApp. This process is simple. All you need to do is call or message your grocery list to 613-9683 and we will select your items for you and have them delivered directly to you, even out of town. This is convenient because we can stay on the phone with you as we select your favorite brands. We're happy to do your shopping for you. Contact us on WhatsApp today and shop Price Smart at Survival Shopping Complex.
Welcome back. Last evening, 29 new pharmacists were assigned the task of helping to raise the standards of their profession and execute their duties with the highest standards at their white coat ceremony held at the Buckland Gardens, Georgetown. Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, gave the charge at the event. He congratulated the young pharmacists and reminded them of their responsibility to society.
Interns and soon-to-be pharmacists. First of all, allow me to congratulate all of you who would have completed your studies and would have gone through a very successful internship program. I guess at the Georgetown Hospital and maybe at some of the other sites that we have in the public sector. This is a very important part of your training and where you get to apply the theory that you would have learned in classroom and do the practical aspect of things. Pharmacists, as you know, is a very important component of healthcare delivery, and you bear a lot of responsibilities.
The health minister reminded the young professionals that they now bear the serious responsibility to understand their patients and look after their interests.
We want smart, thinking people that is going out there and can make a difference. You're not there just to sit behind a desk, count off a couple of tablets. If you see patients are having some problem outside, you must be able to have that compassion to go out there and understand what is the problem and try to solve the problem.
The 29 interns, 6 from 2020 and 23 from 2021, proudly walked the aisles to be donned in their white coats before reading the pharmacist's promise. Dr. Anthony charged the pharmacists with bringing credibility to the profession.
If we are going to lift the quality of the profession, it is you who would have to help us to do so. And that would come about by your own credibility, how you practice.
Dr. Anthony said, as the government develops Ghana's healthcare sector, many more avenues will be open for healthcare professionals. He also urged the graduates to be ambassadors of COVID-19, to talk about vaccination, encourage persons to get vaccinated, and help save lives. A driver's failure to stop at a stop sign in Georgetown has caused 2 persons, a motorcyclist and his pillion rider, to be injured. More from Esther Sobers.
Police are investigating an accident that occurred on Thursday morning at the intersection of Brickdam and Manget Place after a driver failed to stop at a stop sign. Inquiries disclosed that the motor car PRR 4625, driven by 65-year-old Walden Hunt of Saman Street, Guyhawk Park, was proceeding north along Magnet Place and failed to stop at Brickdam, where a stop sign and a stop line are placed to regulate the movement of traffic. The driver of the car continued further north across the intersection. In doing so, the left side front portion of his motor vehicle collided with the right side front of a motorcycle, C87866, driven by 65-year-old Conrad Parks, which was proceeding east along Brickdam. As a result, the motorcyclist and his pillion rider fell and received injuries to their bodies. They were taken to the Georgetown Public Hospital in a conscious state by an ambulance. They were seen and examined by a doctor on duty. The pillion rider was treated and sent away, while the motorcyclist has admitted a patient suffering from a fractured right foot. His condition is listed as stable. A breathalyzer test conducted on the driver of the motor car found no trace of alcohol in his breath. The driver of the car was served with notice of intended prosecution. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Don't go away. After the break, thousands protest in Argentina for better salaries, food aid, and HEZBOLLAH-BROKERED. Iranian fuel arrives in crisis-hit Lebanon. But before that, here's the bridge retraction schedule.
Survival Shopping Complex brings to you its delivery service, Shop Through WhatsApp. This process is simple. All you need to do is call or message your grocery list to 613-9683 and we will select your items for you and have them delivered directly to you, even out of town. This is convenient because we can stay on the phone with you as we select your favorite brands. We're happy to do your shopping for you. Contact us on WhatsApp today and shop price smart at Survival Shopping Complex.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for do a surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road, Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Taxi service, transportation for every occasion, short drop, airport, weddings, funerals, and much more. We're located at Lot H. Durbin and Vicingen Road, next to Green City Bar. For honest, efficient, and reliable service, call Kingdom Based Taxi Service at 648-5959 or 227-7937. You can count on us.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at news in the region and around the world. Protesters in Argentina are demanding jobs and an increase in social aid. There is anger over rising poverty and high inflation. Al Jazeera's Teresa Bull reports.
They took over the center of Buenos Aires demanding jobs and food assistance. Thousands of people from the poorest areas of Buenos Aires. Roxana Briquez says she has 3 children and no work.
The last year has been very difficult. My husband got some work in construction, but with the soaring prices, we cannot pay for everything.
Argentina's government has increased cash handouts and aid to assist the poor, but people here say much more needs to be done, as inflation continues to force prices up every month.
The government is trying to implement austerity measures and pay the IMF at the cost of the working class. We are the ones suffering the crisis and need genuine jobs with decent salaries.
The economic situation and the handling of the pandemic has put a huge dent in the government's popularity. Last Sunday, the Peronist Party lost in 17 provinces during this country's primary elections, including a key stronghold, the province of Buenos Aires. The loss has exacerbated the big divisions that exist within the administration, especially between President Alberto Fernández and his Vice President Cristina Fernández de Kirchner. On Wednesday, the Minister of Interior and other left-leaning government officials close to Cristina Fernández offered their resignation to the president. Argentina is currently negotiating a $40 billion debt with the IMF, and the president is trying to reduce the deficit and organize the economy, but his vice president is not going along with it. Instead, she wants to increase social spending to boost the party's chances of winning on November's legislative elections. Economists say the dispute is having an impact on Argentina's chances of recovering from the pandemic.
One thing is putting some money on the streets to improve their chances in November. The issue is whether you are going to do that and not seal a deal with the IMF and continue printing money. Nobody is going to benefit from that and the crisis it will generate.
Alberto Fernandez wrote on Twitter, "This is not the time to raise disputes that divert us from our path."
Argentina is in the middle of an economic and now political crisis. And while the ruling coalitions continue to dispute and struggle over how to find a way out, there's millions of people who are filled with uncertainty about what will happen with the economy, with their income, and their lives. Teresa Bo, Al Jazeera, Buenos Aires.
Tens of thousands of migrants have been stuck in southern Mexico as the government has stepped up efforts to prevent them from heading towards the United States border. Those trying to leave are under constant threats from immigration authorities and criminals. Al Jazeera's Manuel Rapallo reports.
Walking through the back roads of the city of Tapachula, a group of Haitian migrants is trying to avoid capture by Mexican authorities. Immigration agents in southern Mexico are under federal orders to prevent migrants from leaving the city.
There's many migrants suffering. There's no housing and we don't have any money. The hotels are expensive and we have nothing, so we have to try to go on foot.
Having spotted a government agent, the group quickly scatters to hide in a nearby cornfield. Fear is written on everyone's faces. One local resident who has asked us to hide her identity says migrants are right to be afraid. She says danger lurks around every corner.
4 days ago, a man passed by, shoeless. They had just raped his 9-year-old son and his wife. The man couldn't even walk because they took away his shoes, so he wouldn't run for help. But these people don't go to the authorities. They don't speak out because they are afraid authorities are going to arrest them and send them back.
The city of Tapachula, about 50 kilometers north of Mexico's border with Guatemala, is experiencing the worst migrant crisis in decades. Some have been here for weeks, others months, and they're growing desperate to escape a city they say has become an open-air prison for migrants.
The government doesn't want to give us legal paperwork, and even those who have papers and try to leave are sent right back here. Some are leaving through the jungle, trying to get out. But there are bandits in the jungle who rob them.
Authorities in southern Mexico have also been accused of abuse and excessive force, which is why small groups travel along side streets and jungle roads to evade arrest.
We're at one of a handful of security checkpoints leaving the city of Tapachula, and behind me, authorities are stopping vehicles that they suspect may be transporting migrants who are then detained and sent back to the city of Tapachula, or at times they're deported to Guatemala, regardless of their country of origin.
This group has made it past the first immigration checkpoint and are getting ready to board a public bus. They tell us they'd rather be anywhere but here, and are willing to risk it all to get away. Manuel Rapallo, Al Jazeera, Tapachula, Mexico.
And internationally, much needed fuel has arrived in Lebanon to ease the country's crippling shortages. The first of several truck convoys carrying Iranian fuel from Syria was arranged by Iranian-backed HEZBOLLAH party. Importing fuel from Iran risks U.S. action under the current sanctions.
U.S.-sanctioned Iranian fuel arrives in Lebanon, brought overland from Syria, also under American sanctions. Hezbollah, which arranged the shipment to help alleviate the widespread fuel and diesel shortages in the country, sees this as victory against the United States.
We assume we have enough supplies for September and October. Then we decide if there is a need for a 5th, a 6th and a 7th ship.
Importing fuel from Iran risks U.S. action under the current sanctions. That is why the Iranian-backed Lebanese armed group says it chose to offload at a port in Syria and bring the supplies through illegal crossings, so Lebanon won't have to deal with sanctions-related complications. But politics was also at play.
Hezbollah has managed this current crisis very well.
by presenting itself as a party trying to protect the human population in a country. And this role is really difficult to challenge or even for the United States to oppose.
The Biden administration, which considers Hezbollah a terrorist organization, has chosen not to respond. Some say it is because of efforts to restart negotiations with Iran on a nuclear deal. Lebanon is entangled in the regional conflict and fuel is being used as a political weapon. Hezbollah is being accused of trying to expand Iran's influence here. The response of the United States has so far been muted, but it is supporting another alternative. Despite sanctions on Syria, it is showing flexibility to allow Lebanon to import natural gas from Egypt and electricity from Jordan. This is part of daily life in Lebanon. Fuel is scarce in a nearly bankrupt state. The Lebanese government has not commented on the deal to import fuel from Iran, but experts say energy sources from Iran, Egypt, and Jordan are temporary solutions that won't fulfill long-term needs.
We need to build new power plants, we need to resort to gas, we need to invest in renewables, and we need to have a good governance. Hezbollah is part of the system. Hezbollah is not a reformist entity that is willing to do reforms. So Hezbollah is not doing anything in the government or anything in the parliament to solve the crisis of the energy.
For now, Hezbollah, long accused of exploiting the weakness of a state mired in corruption, is celebrating the geopolitical implication of what appears to be the pro-Iran alliance's growing power. Zana Khudr, Al Jazeera, Beirut.
And that is it for today's regional and international news. Here now is your 3-day weather forecast. That is it for this edition of Channel 2 Headline News Updates. Tune in on Monday at 7 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.